If you're looking for a great YouTube network to join, apply for full screen with the link in the description. To trade your games in for a better value, use leaptrade.com and use Broken Games HD as a referral. Alright, what's going on, everybody? So before I get to talking about this surprisingly very fun and enjoyable game, I want to apologize for the video quality in regards to the frame rate, because it may seem a little low. I was playing this game at 60 frames, but for some reason this is one of those games on PC that the third-party recording software has problems detecting. I was using Action Marillis, which is my primary recorder, which I use to record all my PC gameplay. It's great quality. For some reason, that wasn't working. When I recorded, the gameplay would just be the video would be all black, or it would freeze. Then I tried my backup, which is the GeForce Experience Shadowplay. Shadowplay for some reason just wouldn't record it at all, so I had to resort to my last line of defense for recording, which was DxTory. But the problem with DxTory, and why I pretty much stopped using it but still kept it as a backup, is DxTory has some issues recording games at 60 frames per second. Even though you set it to 60 frames, and when you look in the video details, it says 60 frames. When I put it in Sony Vegas, I was easily able to tell the video was not at 60 frames. It was at a stuttery 30. So I apologize for the frame rate. But let's talk about Verdun. So Verdun was a game that was available through early access for a while. They finally actually released the game today. It's been removed from early access and it's been fully released on Steam, and it is a realistic World War I first-person shooter. So it's not like the other first-person shooters you've probably played. It's not like a Call of Duty World War game, or even a Medal of Honor World War game. It's much more hardcore than that. They went for a realistic, authentic approach. They kind of pretty much went for a simulation rather than a arcade type of game. And this was actually my third match playing, and I went 18-12 my first game. I don't remember what I did my second game, but I went into the 20s. I went 20 and something in this game, and I was actually a little surprised I did that well, because it's not just a pick up and play game. This game is not for the faint-hearted. If you're gonna get upset at things like dying within the first hit, there is no radar. There's a map at the bottom of the screen, but there's no radar blip telling you where your enemies are at. This game doesn't hold your hand or anything like that. It's not on the level of simulation like Arma is or anything like that, but it reminded me, and it brought me back to the days that I liked in multiplayer game, because it's a multiplayer game, by the way. There's no campaign. It's multiplayer, and it brought me back, because a lot of you may hear me complain in the past about how games were back then. No map, no radar, none of these perks and crutches and abilities and things like that. Your skill is really what dictated how well you did, and this really brought me back to those days. That's not to say the game is by any means perfect, or doesn't have its own set of issues. There are some, besides the fact that I was using DxTory, there does seem to be some frame rate issues. There's definitely spawning issues. I can tell you that right off the bat. I was in the previous game I was in, I shot a guy and I killed him, and I turned around and killed another one. It was that guy I just killed. I swear to God, I literally killed him. I turned around, he was right there, and I shot him. It was cheap as hell, and it was unfair. And the same thing has happened to me, where I was just killed by a guy. I spawned, and literally the same guy killed me. It was like the Twilight Zone. I'm like, did that really happen? But regardless of that, I was just surprised at how fun I was having with this game. I never heard about it prior to today. I first read about it through GameSpot. They were talking about it, saying it was being released from early access. I took a look at the trailer and some gameplay people have put up in the past. And I said, I'm gonna give it a try, and I really liked it. Like right off the bat, my first match, like I said, even though I finished 18-12, I must have started off like 0-5. I lie to you not, because literally they put you in the game, and you can get shot from anywhere. Like, it's pretty, all that open land is no man's land, because this is based on trench warfare, which is what World War I was like. So, you know, there's not any safe zones. You can get shot from anywhere. There's no spawn protection or anything like that. You actually have to play smart and strategic. You can't just, this would be a Call of Duty player's worst nightmare practically, because if you just walk out there or stick your head out in a dangerous spot, you could easily get shot down, right? So you really want to kind of stay in the trenches. And even though that's the way you kind of got to play, I can't say camping is a problem in this game, as far as I've seen so far, which was surprising, because you would think in this type of game where you die in one shot, yeah, there are people you know, staying in one spot sniping, but for the most part I saw everybody moving around, right? They you know, they went, they stopped, they went and they stopped. That's kind of how they play it, because someone could easily walk up behind you. It's a big open map, big enough for you to snipe across the map from, but it's small enough that someone could easily you know, circle around the map and kill you, or you know, they could just spawn anywhere in the map and come behind you. So it's not to the point where you could just camp. You gotta keep moving. So there's definitely a learning curve. And my first match, one of the things that frustrated me was the fact that when obviously there's two different types of aiming sensitivity, which I didn't check prior to playing my first game. One just when you're out of the scope, when you're de-scoped and running around like this, and then there's another sensitivity, which is the aiming sensitivity when you're scoped in. And there's a few different rifles, by the way. I chose the WWI, I believe that's how you pronounce it, because that's actually a rifle that I was familiar with from other World War II games. So I'm like, I'll just go with the WWI. And you can choose to put a scope on it. You can choose not to, depending on the map. I chose to use a scope, you know, because I wanted a little bit more accuracy on the distance and everything like that. The game is $20 on Steam. I recommend this game if you are probably an old school type of gamer, or someone who enjoys more simulation than arcade. Like I said, if you are into the complete Call of Duty, just balls to the wall, just running out there shooting fast paced, nah, you're not gonna like this. If you're one of those who complains that there's not any of those modern features and crutches in the game, because it is, like I said, pretty bare bones, and it really just depends on your skill, how good your aim is, and how smart you are, and you know, how you play. There are two game modes. This is a free-for-all match, and the other one is a more strategic mode, which I haven't played. It's pretty much a kind of tug-of-war, where it's two teams, and you can command a AI squad to do certain actions to kind of give you the advantage on the battlefield. So it's kind of like a trench warfare, tug-of-war. I haven't played that yet. You know, I've just only played this. So, you know, it's a fun game. It's cheap. Obviously, it's not the best visuals you've ever seen or anything like that. That's not what it's about. It's really just about the gameplay. And this kind of match can go either way. You could be on a kill streak, as you probably saw that I was on for a while, and then you could spawn the next 3 times and get shot down at any time. So it's really just that type of game. So it's all about trench rifle warfare. There's not those other guns as far as I've seen. I don't know about the other mode, but as far as I know, this game is all about rifle warfare. And the good thing about that is that could mean close to mid to long range gunfights. You know, it's not like Sniper Elite, which I played that multiplayer, and when I got on that multiplayer for like Sniper Elite 3, as far as the PvP, the versus mode, that multiplayer died really fast. And the gameplay wasn't really fun, because it was literally just all about the long distance sniping game. This one could range from all 3 of those distances. You could shoot one guy, you know, right next to you, and then the next kill you get could be halfway across the map. You know, it's kind of like that. And it's fun because it really creates these type of tense, realistic situations. You know, it wasn't like Sniper Elite where everybody was completely stationary, like I said. even though you have to be very careful on this game and you can't just run out there, everybody wasn't just necessarily camping or anything like that. And like I said, I really enjoyed it simply because it didn't have all these perks, abilities, and crutches that modern day games have. So I really enjoyed it for that reason. But I'm gonna stop talking because there's really nothing I have to say anymore. Y'all can just enjoy the rest of the gameplay. There's only like 2 minutes left, so I talked pretty much throughout the whole thing. And like I said, this game could go either way. Towards the end of the game, I actually end up dying more. Most of my kills came in the first and kind of middle, and then I went on like this little death streak at the end. But I kind of had broke it up. But anyway, enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Like I said, it's a really fun game, and yeah, if you got this $20 you want to spend, you could take the chance on it. But like I said, it's not for the impatient. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's more of a simulator than an arcade. Just be warned. I told you that. Don't get mad at me later. All right, so enjoy the rest of the gameplay. A few minutes that's left. I'm out of here. Peace.
Komm zurück, Feigling!